In today's episode, Jack and Alex talk about Bahrain testing week 2, Keelan Harvick's Hendricks Betrayal, NASCOURT is back, the throwback theme week in IMSA, and it's MotoGP's first race weekend of the season. We also highlight the women's Olympic figure skating final for one of our main stories, and we have predictions for this week's Cup, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and Truck Series races. So let's get into it. Hello and welcome to ApexToOval. I am your host, Alex. That is Jack, whichever way he is. I never know. I guessed it right last time, but I guarantee you I'm not going to guess it right a second time. Let's just get right into it. Bahrain testing week 2 in Formula 1. Ferrari was the fastest again. Merc allegedly hiding pace. Ferrari also allegedly hiding pace. Aston Martin is terrible. Man, you got to feel for Aston Martin. You got to feel for Fernando Alonso. I think we talked a little bit about this last time. I forget if it got cut or not. But Fernando Alonso has had a rough career. Like, bad team changes, like, interesting career moves. And he's one of the greatest. But, man, has he left a lot on the table.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is no fault of his own. You know, he's made moves that have made sense and have not worked out. I mean, even like, obviously it was, you know, a no-brainer to go to an Aston team that's getting investment. You know, going into this year, I mean, we talked about championship odds even a few weeks ago, and Fernando was up there ahead of some others. But man, who let Honda do this again?
And they were good with Red Bull. That's the thing. They were really good with Red Bull. What happened?
Well, I mean, RBPT is now just RBPT Ford and seemed to be doing pretty well. So who knows how much of Red Bull succeeding was Honda or not.
I actually do want to quickly go over the betting odds real quick because Lewis has the 4th highest odds. And
all right, go for it.
Plus 650. Plus 650. So George is, I believe, still first from last time. Plus 200. Max is at plus 330. Charles plus 600. Lewis plus 650. And then you have Kimi at plus 1,000. Lando Norris at plus 1,100. Piastri at plus 1,300. Fernando Alonso at plus 2,700. So Fernando is still in the top 8 drivers with the highest odds, according to FanDuel, which we do not support. We do not gamble. Do not spend your money. That's a bad idea. We do not endorse them. We're just using the betting odds. But yeah.
Yeah, you could tell it's changed to reflect vibes from preseason, where, like, as we've talked about, Ferrari has been setting top times, has a lot of justified hype around them, and yet it seems like a lot of people in the garage are still thinking that Mercedes is set up the best for this season, which I don't know what they're seeing because I am not in the paddock myself. You know what I mean? And you obviously can't ever write off Max, whether he's in the best car or not. But it's setting up for an interesting season.
Yeah, it is. It'll be interesting because Max has good odds, but my thing is, like, is it British bias that they're seeing so much from Mercedes? Like, what's the actual reason? I don't know. I don't get it because Ferrari's
British bias so much lately, which I think is really funny. You have fully become a Ferrari fan.
Listen, I'm encapsulating the Ferrari in me. All right, I'm just saying, you know. No, but like genuinely, I don't get what they see in the Mercedes. Like, is it fast? Yeah, it's probably a top 2 car. But, like, if Ferrari is by far the fastest in testing, I want to know what they see that makes them think that Mercedes will be fastest.
So, question for you then. Who was the fastest last year in testing?
I don't remember. Oh.
Because coming out of testing, everyone was impressed by McLaren and thought that McLaren was going to be, like, the best car. But who was actually the fastest?
Last year?
Yeah.
2025.
Yes.
McLaren.
Nope.
Are you going to say the Red Bull?
Nope. Keep going.
The 2025 season.
Yes. In testing. In preseason testing.
Who was the fastest? Ferrari.
Yeah. No.
Merc.
Nope.
Aston.
Nope.
I've named 5 teams. How is it not in the top 5? What?
That's exactly my point. That is exactly my point about preseason testing versus vibes. It was Carlos Sainz in the Williams, and then Ferrari, and then Red Bull, and then McLaren in the time leaderboards. But the vibes coming out were that McLaren was like really strong, and we were talking about that in the season preview and talking about, oh, it's just testing, blah, blah, blah. Like, the top of the time charts in testing doesn't often mean everything, right?
Yeah.
Also, when Ferrari is this reliable and doing this much innovation-wise, it's got to mean something, right?
Yeah.
And I think the odds reflect that.
And I think also for Ferrari, like you have Lewis Hamilton, like he just seems more confident in this car, and so does Charles. To be fair, like both of them seem, I feel like, more confident than last year, and last year was a doozy. So you hope that this year's better.
Didn't he say something like this car has his DNA in it or something like that?
I don't know. I just know that he says it's a lot twitchier and it's easier to catch, and that's all I heard. And then I saw the start on the last preseason, that week 2, the start that he had, the mega start, and oh my, the delusion's running through my veins.
I wouldn't read too much into that start because the teams would not start the season with it that lopsided.
I'm just saying.
I think that's.
I'm just saying.
I think that they didn't want to show their hands like anyone.
The edits I've been getting are nuts. They're nuts. They're great. A1.
Oh yeah, for sure. But no, yeah. I think it's setting up for an exciting start of the year. We got new regs, and we've truly got no idea who the top team is. A lot of speculation seems to be that it's Mercedes, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Ferrari. I would be surprised if it was Aston, but that sucks. Or Adrian Newey, I guess.
Just sandbagging that much. They're
Suddenly,
just fully just screwing with everyone.
They turn up to Australia, and actually the engine can work and can do the bare minimum of running the electric power it's supposed to and going to 11,000 RPMs and not burning the bodywork or whatever.
Dude, imagine.
But
oh my
no,
God.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. There is also going to be some F1 races shown in select theaters. It'll be Miami, COTA, Monaco, Silverstone, and Monza. Yeah,
this is exciting. I mean, with Apple taking over the TV rights and it going from, whether you have a cable subscription or streaming subscriptions, whatever else, it going from ESPN to a streaming service, and a relatively less subscribed to streaming service at that, is probably not a great thing for reach of the sport. So having the kind of prestige races as far as the U.S. market is concerned, going in theaters and presumably getting a lot of advertising to go along with that to justify the theater runs feels huge to me. It feels like a great sign for Apple's effort on the F1 deal.
Yeah, so that should be fun. On to NASCAR. The COTA and St. Petersburg entry lists are out. And there's a lot of entries, let me tell you. There's a lot of entries. In the Cup Series, it's literally just Jesse Love. In the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, it's Alex Leba, Connor Zilic, SVG, Tyler Gonzalez, Baltazar Leguizamon,
the GOAT,
Austin J. Hill, not to be confused with Austin Hill, Josh Bilicki, LeVar Scott, Patrick Staropoli, Preston Pardis, Sage Karam, Austin Green. And in the trucks, we have Dario Franchetti, Carter Fartush, or Fartuk, Ben Meyer, Adam Andretti, Cole Butcher, Jackson Lee, Colin Braun, Timmy Hill, Landon Lewis, Wesley Slimp, Derek White, Nathan Nicholson, and then James Hinchcliffe to round out the truck series. I'm most excited for James Hinchcliffe in the trucks. You bet your ass I'll be watching that race.
Baltazar Leguizamon is the GOAT. That's all. He's gonna win.
Facts.
He's gonna
Oh,
run laps around SVG and Zilich. I'm telling you.
listen. We're talking about the two greatest red course drivers the sport has ever seen, and you're
Yeah,
telling me
Baltazar and
Baltazar's.
Leguizamon.
Well, we'll see about that. We'll see. Who knows? One of them is a 17-year-old. I had to look him up. He is a 17-year-old. Like, that is nuts. It is. Oh no, well technically okay. The 17-year-old I was thinking of is not. Yeah, but he's not. He's full time. But that's so crazy that Brent Cruz is 17.
Well,
and
he's
already.
full time as much as he's allowed to be full time, right? He couldn't race the previous two
Yeah.
races because he's not 18.
Yeah, that's true. But that's
Yeah,
still
Brent
nuts.
Cruz. Yeah, good talent. He
Brent Cruz,
hopefully will assert
future
himself
GOAT.
as. Yeah, hopefully he'll assert himself as like a legit prospect this year in a way that more people will recognize him. He's good.
Hell yeah.
Been good.
Hell yeah. Next up on the docket, Keelan Harvick signs a long-term development deal with Toyota. And I want to mind you, not Ford, not Chevy. Toyota, which is big because, Jack, your turn.
Well, Kevin Harvick raced for SHR for many years before retiring. He was a Chevy driver. He was a Ford driver. Keelan Harvick himself has had HendrickCars.com sponsorship. If you want to talk about, a Chevy/Hendrick type contract. And I think most people expected him to either be a Chevy guy or a Ford guy, following in the footsteps of his dad. So for Toyota, the only one nobody thought was an option to be the pick here. It feels crazy. It feels like the other two just dropped the ball big time. I mean, this is a guy who, like, years ago was racing with the Cup guys on iRacing.
Yeah, this is. He is sponsored by HendrickCars.com. Rough one. That's rough. If I was Kevin Harvick, man. Oh my. I mean, if it's the best for Keelan, hell yeah. But like, I want to know what Kevin was like, because I feel like Kevin, like, I don't know, maybe Toyota just had a sweeter package than the other two. I don't know, but good on Toyota. They got a decent driver. Also in NASCAR, the final thing for NASCAR, no full screen commercials during green flag racing on Fox. This is the greatest thing ever. It's still not good enough. We should not have any commercials on green flag racing. And if you're going to have commercials, have the racing sound on and then the commercials silent. Just saying. Because I want to know what's happening in the race, not the stupid commercials. But it is what it is. I'll take a win. A win is a win.
I'm actually going to at least soft disagree with that. The viewership numbers for NASCAR are not such that the sponsorships of the teams alone can fund the sport, or the sponsorships like that exist can fund the sport. Like, at some point, this is a sport that really depends on sponsor money coming in and basically all aspects of it. And I would rather take the time to applaud Fox doing something that should be obvious in not missing green flag laps and at least doing side by side, instead of going after them for still doing side by side with like the commercial audio. Could there still be progress here? Absolutely. But I am grateful for what we're getting.
I think we should have automatic cautions every 10 laps for an ad break.
Oh my God. Are you Mr. NASCAR?
I think this is NASCAR Alex speaking, all right? We should have cautions every 10 laps, right? Every 10. Right?
Yep.
Just a 200 lap race would have 20 cautions minimum. That's minimum. During those cautions, actually, screw it. I lied. Every 10 laps, red flag. We go to 5 minutes of commercials and then come back and do another 10 laps.
And that guarantees a bunch of intense restarts. Also, You add stage things to each of those, so that you get like, drama about the extra stage. Ooh, bring back the playoffs, but add more rounds.
Have all 36 drivers in the playoffs.
No, it's got to be 32 ranked by the 3 races before, just their best finish, not points or anything. Like the in-season tournament was. I still can't believe that, man. I'm never getting over that. That was
stupid.
So dumb.
Oh my god.
But yeah, no. Are you Mr. NASCAR?
I'm Mr. NASCAR. And then here's the thing. Everything is Kyle Larson. You cannot enter the stadium or the stands without having Kyle Larson merch on. He's going to be the most popular driver. No. I lied. Chase Elliott. Everybody needs to be a Chase Elliott fan. If you're not a Chase Elliott fan, get out of the sport. Anyway, that's not my views. I don't think.
Well, hey, speaking of Kyle Larson, everything was Kyle Larson for SVG this week when Kyle Larson just went.
That was pretty.
We'll get to that in the race recap.
We'll get to that. In the other series, IMSA is having a throwback theme at Laguna Seca, which is May 1st through 3rd. For the WEC, there's nothing. And the MotoGP, it's their first race weekend of the season. You start off with qualifying for MotoGP
theoretically
on 2/27 at 10:50 p.m. This is EST, by the way. Then sprint race, which is 13 laps on Saturday at 3 a.m. Which is the race, which is 26 laps on March 1st, which is Sunday at 3 a.m. And then you have Moto 3 and Moto 2, which qualifying's both on 2:28 for both of those between the times of 12:45 and 2:28 a.m. for both. And then you have your race, which is 19 races for Moto 3 and 19 laps for Moto 3. 22 laps for Moto 2, and that starts on Sunday at 12 a.m. for Moto 3 and 1:15 a.m. for Moto 2. I know the U.S.
sleep.
So if you can't sleep, I'm going to sleep through it. But if you can't sleep, just know MotoGP is on, and you should watch. I will be recording it on Hulu and then watching the race when I wake up the next day. But because that's horrendous. Like, it's not like an American sport, so I understand why, I understand why it's so early is because it's the best time for the local and the surrounding area, but like, goddamn. The U.S. really does get shafted in non-American motorsports. Like, we really do.
And then I've seen time and time again when it comes to that happening with F1, people being like, oh my God, get over it, just wake up for it. Like when it comes to Las Vegas, and it's like... Yeah. At some point, it gets to a point where, like, yes, and if you want the U.S. market and you're going to do things to try to push for the U.S. market, they do it with other race locations for other markets, pushing them so that local time, it starts at a weird time, such that the majority of the people who want to watch can watch, right? That's why F1 races are generally, for Eastern time, early on a Sunday morning, right?
Yep.
Because that seems to be the time that works best for the global audience. And yet, a lot of times this sort of thing happens too.
Now, I don't blame MotoGP for this because I don't think MotoGP cares about the American market that much. Or at all, really. So that's like I'm not even going to fault them, but F1's been trying to get into the American market for years, and they're still not accommodated to the U.S. Like, I don't know.
The most egregious thing to me is like I would understand if it was just you're purely catering to the local times, right? And so the race times move all around depending on where the race is being hosted. But that doesn't happen, right? It moves around all the time. And then you come to Las Vegas in an event that's designed around trying to get American interest, right? Trying to get hype around it, going to like the tourism capital, basically, a city that exists for tourism in a way. And you're putting it at a time where very few people are able to actually like pay attention to it in the country that the whole event is designed around getting those people's eyes. Where like everyone else is mostly just complaining about another American race. and then you're not even making it so that the Americans can watch it. And like at some point, you got to choose your battles better.
Yeah. Again, I don't fault MotoGP for this. They don't care about the American market. That's fine with me. I will figure out a way to watch MotoGP, like just taping it and then watching it the next day. I have no issue with that. But with F1, man, do better. On to our recap. It was Atlanta. You had for the Cup. Your winner was Tyler Reddick, who won 2 in a row. For the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, you had Sheldon freaking Creed winning it. Finally, dude. Dude, I saw a great edit of Sheldon Creed winning like the O'Reilly Series race, and I was like, oh man, this feels so good. I remember I watched it and I was like, oh, I'm so happy for him, man. I'm so happy for him. It's been so long.
You know how many times I've picked him or tried to pick him?
Yeah, and he finished second every time. Yeah. And then for the trucks, Kyle Busch dominated. Well, not dominated, but he won. In Kyle Busch fashion, being pushed by Carson Hocevar. So,
yeah,
interesting. For the Cups race, Carson Hocevar was a terrorist. Once again, Kevin Harvick said that somebody should dump him, which I don't agree with, but I do think that like Carson may need to calm it down a little bit. And I don't think he should calm down all the way because I do enjoy his aggressive style of racing. But when there's not really a gap, you shouldn't be going for a gap that doesn't exactly exist. Or if like you see it close like it was, don't continue going for the gap. Slow down and make your move another time. Like it's not. I like the aggressive racing though from Carson, but like my God, man, like Jesus.
Yeah, and as we said, Kyle Larson turned left right into SVG during the race, which was
Larson
really funny. Just the supposed like best driver in the world.
Yeah.
Bubba Wallace was pretty dominant and able to hold on to the lead of the race for much of the later bit of it, and then as you kind of said, Carson Hocevar was behind him because Bubba went up to block. Carson went for a gap that didn't exist, and it kind of screwed the both of them over.
Well, I don't know if I feel like what I saw was Bubba tried to get ahead of Carson and overshot it. But I might have been watching it because I don't know. I was more so sad and then
in
happy.
The block, he went slightly higher than he needed to, but still not high enough that there was actually a gap for Carson to try to shoot. Right?
Gotcha.
And that's clearly how it panned out, where then Bubba was left on his own because Carson was trying to slide under him, but Carson had nowhere to go either, and they both ended up basically falling back, right? Yeah. It didn't work out for either party.
But let me be clear, that's not the gap I was talking about for Carson. I was talking about on the second to last restart, Carson Hocevar absolutely dumped Christopher Bell, trying to shoot a gap that was clearly closed.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he did it multiple times on the day.
He did it multiple times. I mean, he's basically known for shooting gaps and wrecking drivers when, like, when there's not gaps.
Gonna be aggressive.
But, like, again, he's going to be aggressive, and I applaud you for it, man. The fact that, and I'm not going to lie, this was the 2000s NASCAR. He would have been dumped by now by, like, anybody. Gordon, Stewart, Earnhardt. He would have been dumped so quick if he pulled this back then. The drivers now have so much better self-control, I feel like, because even Kevin Harvick was saying if he was coming against me, his ass would be grass. Like, I'm just saying. I do love the aggressiveness from Carson, though. It does make it fun and interesting. So, and he's still a great driver. He'll get a win this season for sure. I mean,
absolutely, he will. Although I would not want to be near him in future super speedway races. What?
No, I'm just laughing at what you said. To be honest, I wouldn't want to be ahead of him if we're in the closing laps. I don't want to be ahead of him. I think that's fair to say. At some point,
you could tolerate the aggression on a less dramatically aero-dependent track, but it's really hard for anyone to trust him and want to work with him when he's so unpredictable and so aggressive, where, like, at some point, to be a good super speedway racer, you have to work with people. They have to trust that you are going to push them, because otherwise it will never get reciprocated. And you will always be dependent on other people to have a chance to win a race. on a super
Yeah,
speedway.
he's unworldly talented. I mean,
Oh yeah,
he's disgustingly good, like insanely good. But maybe tone it down on the super speedways. If you're on like a mile and a half, like mile and a half, half mile, be aggressive all you want. But like if you're on the super speedways, tone it down.
yeah.
Just a little bit. Just a little
If
bit.
other people need to rely on you, you're not doing yourself any favors by pulling that sort of stuff.
Yeah. But it is what it is. And then, yeah, Kyle Busch wins another truck race. He is now closer to his 100 race milestone. And when he gets there in like a couple of years full time, when his son is there, he will most likely get the 100 races.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any doubt in my mind Kyle Busch will reach 100 race wins.
And to pop up to the O'Reilly series, Sheldon Creed, man. I mean,
What a driver.
he won the COVID truck championship. He had a really good, especially 2-year run, his championship, and then the year after his championship. Really great run there. Had 5 wins, then 3 wins, right? Was really dominant in that COVID year, especially. I very much remember something about him and masks. I think he was like wearing masks that fans were sending him because they like had to wear masks at certain parts because 2020.
Yep.
And it never fully sat in because I was used to that dominance in trucks. That once he made the move up to Xfinity, now O'Reilly in 2022, he hadn't won a race. I kept picking him because I still have thought of him as a very strong driver, right? And he kept finishing second over and over and over again. I really didn't internalize that he just had never gotten it done. I mean, he'd been at RCR,
Yeah.
he'd been at JGR, he's at Haas now, and Haas is, the weakest of those 3 teams, but still a very strong team in the series. All of those are championship contending cars. And to never have gotten it done is crazy with how good he was, and to get it done now just feels more than deserved.
Yes. Yeah.
But on the other hand, oh, sorry.
I think it was like 13 second place finishes or something like that. Like it was an insane amount, and he didn't get a win, and he finally has one.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was his year with Joe Gibbs. It felt like he finished second in like half the races.
God.
That year it definitely stood out how much he kept finishing second. But speaking of guys that did not win, and maybe speaking of RCR, Austin Hill, man, was dominant speed-wise, was up there over and over again. But Jesse Love screwed him over as his teammate, which Alex was begging for at Daytona. And then Ross Chastain just fully like sacrificed himself for the greater good. Like a dozen laps before the finish, Jesse Love made like a stupid move that screwed both himself behind Hill and Hill over. And Hill said something over the radio of like, well, I guess he wants neither of us to win. And it's like, yeah, that seemed like it from the move. Like it was that level of like, what are you doing, Jesse Love? That's really dumb. But more evidence as to that Austin Hill is just the only good super speedway racer in that series right now. If Jesse Love is someone that's cited as also being pretty good at it, and that's the kind of stuff he's pulling. But then Ross Chastain, man, just fully like
Dude, fully dumped up, dude.
He
Fully
Hocevar'd him.
dumped
Like,
up. Dude, fully just ran into the back of him. It's not funny. He was okay. And you know what's funny? He still finished pretty well. Like, he still finished decently well. He was close to a top 10 after getting dumped at the fourth corner, yeah.
I was texting you like it was over for him when Jesse Love like screwed him in the pack. And then he made his way back to the front again. Like, it very shortly after. And then it took Chastain, like, it took another sacrifice to keep him away.
Yeah. But, I mean, yeah. Also, Raja was, if I remember correctly, Raja was running really well for a while. Like, really well for a while.
He has some more things to learn about super speedway racing for sure, but he has had some speed.
Yeah, I'm excited for Raja when he gets
some great car control. Like, even if he was making some mistakes in the draft and stuff like that, that was a nasty save. You know the one I'm talking about?
Dude, yes. Oh my god. Raja Caruth, man. I knew I picked a favorite truck series driver at the right moment. Because, dude, Raja's sick. Raja is sick. I was literally when I was at Lime Rock, I was seriously hoping that Raja and Tony Breidinger would be the people on the like signing stuff. It ended up being Tony Breidinger and Tyler Ankrum, and I'm not mad about Tyler Ankrum, but man, I wish it was Raja because now I have to go to a race outside of my state to see Raja. So,
No.
but that means I could also see
Tragic.
Cup, so I'm not mad. I'm not mad at that. Um, yeah, let's get to our main story. The women's figure skating final was lit. I watched it. Jack, did you watch it?
Yeah, of
Yes.
course.
Uh,
I got Peacock for Yukon games, and then it turned out that you didn't
yeah,
need Peacock for Yukon games. But that meant that I had Peacock for the Olympics. So I was watching a whole
yeah,
lot of multi-view, a whole lot of Gold Zone, whole time.
yeah. Oh hell yeah! I specifically only watched the women's figure skating because I I'm not gonna lie. I didn't before like Saturday the 14th. I didn't give a damn. I
You
didn't
didn't
care about
even
the
watch the
Olympics.
hockey gold medal matches? That's crazy.
No,
Come
I
on.
don't like hockey as a sport.
Damn,
I also don't
that's
like the
wild.
I also don't like the U.S. men's team. So like, if I
Yeah,
were
but
gonna watch it, I would have only
the
watched the
women's
women's
team
team.
is awesome.
I still would. Yeah, I should have watched the women's team, but I didn't.
The
Whoopsie.
men's team, like I wouldn't have been upset if Canada won in the men's, but I am in
No,
Pittsburgh,
I
the
wouldn't have
land of
either.
Sidney Crosby. Um, but it's still like, all right, Q Freebird, you know?
Yeah. Although they lit up 42 shots, like that's a little. We did the men's team did not deserve to win that one. I'm not gonna lie. 42 shots is nuts.
Who cares how many shots you make? You got to get them in.
Fair. And then obviously the whole thing after that with he who shall not be named on this podcast.
Yar. But
So
anyway, people who
yeah.
shall be
Anyway,
named.
people shall be named. Figure skating, baby. Alessa Liu won. Pretty sick. Jack. I didn't realize Jack was watching, and then I get a message from him after she finished her program, and he's like, cooked, and I was like, hell yeah, this is great. And then Kaori finished second. Amy finished third. So not bad. Amy, her first Olympics, she's 17. The nerves did not get to her. She did great on her skate. Kaori did great on her skate too. Amber
They both.
Glenn,
It is worth acknowledging that they did both mess up a little bit, which is why neither of them won.
yes,
Like,
yes.
but that's the reality of competition is that
But like
you have to be
realistically,
clean.
like just looking back at it, like their overall like program for short and the free
Oh
skate were
yeah,
both really
they
good.
killed it.
They killed it, and then Amber Glenn killed it. Went from 13th to 5th, and she literally made a TikTok being like, "Come with me to the ice rink to do the jump that cost me a gold, that cost me a medal at the Olympics." And I'm like, "Damn!" Like that's it's true though. There's the jump that she tried, she didn't land, and she didn't get on the podium, but she was close. Um, and then Isabel Levito went from 8th to 13th, but she still did very good on her free skate.
Well, she fell.
And
I mean, that's
she
gonna
did
happen.
fall. But again, like it's her first Olympics.
Yeah.
She's
Oh, absolutely.
18. Like that's still insane pressure. Who was
And
the
just
other
getting
one?
that
Do you remember the
experience
name of
is
her?
huge.
Who was the
Who are you
Russian that
talking
was
about?
competing under
Oh,
the I forget her
Adalia.
name. Adalia. She was very good as well. Her free skate, she did mess up, but
I feel
um,
horrible for her.
I feel horrible for her
For
too.
many reasons.
But here's the thing: did you see her in the gala? Did you watch the gala that went on?
I didn't watch her performance.
Oh,
But
dude,
I've
she was
seen
so
many of her
happy. She
quotes
was
since.
doing Waka Waka. I'm pretty sure, or some
Is
sort of
she's
song
said
like
many
that. It
times
was
since
great.
that she's trying to learn from her competitors and try to enjoy it
Yeah,
more and not be as like hard on herself because the quotes right after were heartbreaking. Um, and
yeah,
obviously
yeah.
the reason I and many others were rooting against her is because she is coached by the abusive
Atari.
one.
Atari.
Um, like, and you saw that even in her free skate where her coach sent her out there to try a quad that she wasn't able to land, that everyone knew she wasn't going to land, and she didn't land it. And she was like furious at herself, but it was a horrible situation to put yourself in. Like that was never going to happen. It wasn't. It was
Yeah.
not. and yet they still sent her out there and made her feel the brunt. Like, she's talking about how she doesn't know how she's going to be able to go home, kind of thing. Like, how she knows, like, she's going to hear it, blah, blah, blah. Like, you can't do, and this is the same coach that, had, like, the gold medalist upset about it at last Olympics, that had people, basically everyone involved, crying and was drugging people, and, like, really just a terrible influence on the sport. So however much, you want to root for the skater, you really want the coach to be out of the sport.
Yeah.
So
But she
I
was
am.
having having such a fun time during the gala. Like, she was smiling. Like, dude, it was so fun to watch. Like, her redemption of the gala was really good. Also, Ilya Melanin's redemption of the gala was sick. Oh my god, his performance was so
Okay.
good.
I have thoughts, but before
Okay.
Adalia, I am very glad that she didn't medal, because I think that this Olympics, on the whole, is a great step towards getting a healthier culture in the sport overall. I am also very glad that she is kind of learning from her competitors in a way that it's accomplishing the culture change that people are talking about. That she's talking about how she's focusing on enjoying it, and how she did at the gala really turn it around. I don't know about you. I kind of felt like Amy was punished a little too harshly versus Kaori, of like,
Yes. Oh my god. Yeah. Like, her
which
performance, her like performance score, or whatever the hell it's called, not the technical score, but the other score that they get. Oh my, she was shafted on it. It was terrible. And I don't think I don't think her score should have been that bad. There's no way her score was that bad.
because
She
I
did
don't know
really
if she's.
well.
I don't know if I would want her to win the gold, but she was like miles away from the top two, and I know that
Yeah.
it's a great story for a legend to go out at least with the silver. But it felt like in real time we were both like, oh my god, that low.
Yeah.
Like,
I
because we
was
knew
thinking
it
she
would be
got
dinged, but
second.
it was we were not expecting it to be such a gap.
No, I
Um,
thought Amy secured second with that performance in the free skate, and then she dropped to third, and I was like, wait a minute, what the hell?
as far as the gala goes, Ilya Malinin is such a straight man, derogatory. Um, because what do you mean? What do you mean you were performing to NF in an NF hoodie, and like that is straight off like, I'm Ilya Malinin and this is deep. New subreddit idea.
It was a good performance,
I,
though.
I mean, he's a good skater, but like, what? Why are we skating to NF? What are we doing?
What's wrong with an F? What's wrong with an F? Is he a bad person? Am I learning this
No.
now?
As far as I
I-
know,
if
I don't think so.
I thought he was a good person. I think he makes decent music. What's wrong with an F?
It's very much like, I don't know.
It's the press music. That's good. It's not lit.
It's very much I'm 14 and this is deep. Like, it just, those are the vibes it was giving off. And as someone who was taken to an NF concert when I was probably not different from 14, I feel like I have the right to say that. I have pictures of myself at an NF concert, and I feel like I have the right to say that it's very r/I'm 14
I got
and
three
this is
songs
deep.
in my playlist full of NF, bro. NF's lit.
Okay,
He
Let
makes
You
some
Down
decent
doesn't
music.
count. Let You Down doesn't count. That was like just a
You can't
true
say
like.
that. It does count. What the
No,
what are you
it's
talking about?
just that's like actually a pretty good song. Like,
No,
that
so
song
are
got
the
like
other
radio
ones.
play.
Oh my god. Oh, bro. Radio
And-
play. I only like gay pop. Radio play. No. NF is good music. Shut the
And-
F up.
The Search as an album was pretty good. I will happily admit that. But also, if you're performing to that on a grand stage, that just I think you've misread the room. I think that
Misread the room. This song was. Listen. I hard disagree with that.
anyway. I personally loved our lovely gold medalists, Kung Fu Panda performance featuring Deadpool, of course. Going on,
that was quite funny.
leaving the ice to get greeted by Jackie Chan and more pandas.
Yep.
Truly just an incredible experience.
And then
Alyssa
Ilya got
Liu.
shot
Oh yeah, of course, he got shot
by
as
one
part
of
of
the
the
other figure
Cell Block
skaters.
Tango.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool.
Yeah, he did a pretty good he did a pretty good death. Um,
Yep. So there was one guy who did a damn good death. Like he was sitting on on the like the mat in between like the and then he just fully like fell backwards off the mat.
yeah,
Like that's commitment. I
they
guarantee you there
committed.
was no padding there. I guarantee it.
They committed. Um, but yeah, and of course Alyssa Liu, icon, Pink Pantheress, um, truly just one of the more. I mean, everything that she did at the Olympics was joyful, but one of the more joyful performances I've ever seen. I mean, come on, boots, iconic, iconic.
Yeah.
She hit the
I
little
have
boots on the ice. Like, come on.
I have never listened to a Pink Panther song before. That Boots is officially in my playlist. So
I mean, the song is stateside, but just
or yeah, well, okay, you said Boots, man. Off.
yeah, because of the line. You
Piss
know
off.
what I'm talking about. You know the moment I'm
Yes, I
talking about.
do. I
Okay.
do. I do. I do.
Okay.
I watched it. I watch figure skating now. I watched it. That's what the song was called, Stateside. I was talking to a friend earlier, and I was like, dude, I forget this song, and I just didn't look it up, and I was whatever.
I think that's also like the second song that's now in the top 10 on the charts, like immediately after her performance. Which that's pull right there.
That's motion right there. She got motion.
Oh yeah.
That's insane.
Um, yeah. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's all I got too. Those are good performances from everyone. Good shit. Good job.
Oh.
No cussing anymore. And secondly, NASCOURT is back and better than ever.
Oh
Jack, get into
my
it because I
god.
know you know more. But I know about this, but I know you know more than me. So get into it.
All right. Chris Gabehart is a spy. Um, for Spire. So Joe Gibbs Racing.
Banger.
Joe Gibbs Racing is suing Chris Gabehart, alleging that he was upset about being replaced as Denny's crew chief, and in his like director of competition role, just tried to steal as much JGR information as he can to then go over to Spire and be like, "Hey, let me help you." And he was apparently very blatant about it. Like, didn't even like name the folder something else. Just straight up was caught on like Google Drive, like copying setup information and all this like trade secret, competition information into a folder called Spire, and like taking pictures on his phone, caught doing that, like of different information to like eliminate a paper trail, all to bring the information to Spire. And I hello, like this is incredible. I mean, what?
This is what is it? Ferrari Gate? Is that what they called it in F1? Where like they got document. Like, this is the same thing that happened in F1 when Fernando went to McLaren.
I mean,
Just saying.
it's all of the pay information for everyone in the organization. It's a bunch of setups. It's like a lot of how all of their data stuff is done. It's like proprietary software. It's all these reports. Like it's
It literally is Spygate in
basically
F1.
like every trade secret, every like how they calculate fuel mileage, how they evaluate crew chiefs and stuff like that. The actual like schematics for like different parts of the car. Like using JGR's proprietary software to show how JGR drivers compared to Spire drivers because he knew he'd be going to Spire. Like just legitimately taking every possible piece of information that he could. And all of this because he got replaced by Chris Gale last year as Denny Hamlin's crew chief and got a like promotion to director of competition.
Yeah. This is the NASCAR version of F1 Spygate in 2007. If you don't know what Spygate was, something happened, yada yada yada. McLaren stole Ferrari's files, built their car like them, got caught, and they got removed from the Constructors' Championship that year. Lewis and Fernando finished second and third in that Drivers' Championship that year. To Ferrari and Kimi Räikkönen. Same thing's happening here. But
I I would almost argue that I feel like obviously NASCAR is a little different because it's a spec series, so
Yeah.
there's overall less that you can steal, but I think of what's possible to bring over, this is like this is everything. Like I'm not sure it even could like obviously again F1 you're designing a car from the ground up. Obviously that's going to be different, but as far as versus what he could bring over, I don't think it compares. I think this is
Hmm.
like this is mind blowing, dude. Like this is and as of an hour ago, JGR has added Spire Motorsports as a defendant, as well as Chris Gabehart. I guess basically alleging that Spire was complicit in it, that it wasn't just Gabehart acting on his own. Um, they filed for a restraining order today, basically requiring Gabehart to not work for Spire for the next year and a half. Um, we'll see if that gets granted. But I guess the idea is that whatever information he stole will no longer be relevant in a year and a half. But like what the heck? What the heck? Sorry. What the heck?
Yeah,
I
it's a bit nuts.
like I genuinely we just got done with a massive like sport changing NASCAR trial and then boom, like 5 days ago, this like this is again, obviously on the scale of what you can steal in NASCAR, this is like Spygate on steroids. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
and
This is not good. And I think the total was like 8 million in damages. I think that's too little. I up it. I think you should up it. That's a lot of trade secrets.
yeah, I mean it's I'm speechless. Like I love it from the drama aspect. I hate it for JGR, I guess. Like
I hate it for Spire too, bro. If they were complicit in this crap, I'd hate it for Spire. I mean, dog, you're already an up and coming team. Like you're not. It's not like you're some like. It's not like you're like Haas, right? You're a decent team. You
that's the
don't
thing.
need
They wanna
this.
take a step up. They hired Rodney Childers, and that didn't work out last year. So now they pull out all the stops. They get Chris Gabehart and all of JGR.
And now they're gonna have nothing. Like I don't. This ends up being true, and JGR wins the lawsuit. This might spell trouble for Spire.
Well, I think the problem with stuff like this, and obviously people will disagree. There's legal ways to go about it, but once Pandora's box is opened, you can't close it again, right? Like
Hmm.
you can't unsee, unlearn a lot of this stuff. Even if you're not allowed to use it, now you know what they do or the kinds of things they do, and it's then
Hmm.
easier to recreate it. And obviously, that sort of stuff happens all the time. People change jobs all the time. Like it gets kind of standardized in a way, but like at some point, once proprietary information gets out, you can't just put it back in, right?
Hmm. Yeah. Fire the if Spire is guilty, fire the whole team. Fire the whole team, except the drivers. Fire the whole team. Get a new team. I'd recommend it.
But yeah, I mean, they've got like the kind of it seems like increasing support from Hendrick and now apparently all of the information from JGR. Like literally
You could
everything
have just
JGR does.
asked. You could have just politely asked. If they turn you down, they turn you down. But at least you politely asked. Like this is just pure like criminal work right here.
Now, I do know that I think it would be unfair for me to not say that Chris Gabehart did put out a statement saying that everything was false and he did not share confidential information with anyone. That he had a third party forensic expert that found no evidence to support the allegations, like blah, blah, blah. I still feel like it's hard to argue with the evidence that JGR included in their lawsuit. Because at some point, I'm not sure it looks good in front of a jury if you're moving all of this proprietary data to a folder called Spire on Google Drive.
Yeah, it is kind of harder to rebuke that. But we shall see. We will still keep everyone updated on the here when things come alight. But interesting stuff. Now we go on to our upcoming races predictions. Now we're not doing MotoGP predictions because I know nothing about MotoGP, and I assume neither does Jack. But we do have COTA Cup, COTA O'Reilly Series, and St. Petersburg Trucks.
Oh yeah.
So let's get into the Cup Series. The Duramax Texas Grand Prix, which, if I remember what... This is a different Duramax than the Duramax V8 engine, Jack. Do not embarrass yourself this time around.
It's Duramax. Capital MAX.
Yeah, Duramax. Capital MAX. Not Duramax, lowercase MAX. Duramax, capital MAX. Anyway.
Yes.
For the Cup and the O'Reilly Series, there's only 2 actual drivers you should be picking. Me and Jack have both of them for both of them. So we're going to do our O'Reilly and our COTA together. So COTA is the Focus Health 250. That is Saturday at 3 p.m. COTA Duramax Texas Grand Prix at Sunday at 3:30 p.m. I have Connor Zilic for both. He's the second best red course driver, arguably the first sometimes. Just as good as the next person Jack's going to name. Jack, go ahead.
I've got SVG for both. I think that for Cup, it's probably less of a, like, I don't want to say sure thing because nothing's a sure thing in racing, but this is probably one of the road courses I would feel worst about picking SVG for, but it's still SVG in a road course.
Which is why I ended up picking COTA. So I had SVG first, and I'm like, you know what? No, I'm going to pick Zilch for both, and then I'm going to leave you SVG. Because in case something happens like last year's COTA, I don't want to be involved in that. And the final one is the St. Petersburg Trucks race.
What do you mean by that?
Well, he didn't do that well overall. He still finished in the top 10, but he wasn't elite like he is in the other road courses.
It's like a top 10 is good. I don't know what you're talking about.
But it's SVG. His only thing now this season he's been great all around, but normally SVG is only good at road courses. That was his only top 5s and wins last year was road courses. So and COTA was
led
the only one
23 laps, finished 6th, and scored the second most points of anyone on the day.
Listen, he didn't win and he didn't get a top 5. All I know is that's washed behavior. Anyway,
all right.
No, listen. That's the one road course he didn't win last year.
This is true. And not winning. If not winning is the bar, he's got to retire. He's washed.
He's what do you think I just said? Washed behavior.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. For the St. Petersburg truck race, it's the only Bulls Green Flag 150, Saturday at noon. I have... well, here's the thing. Corey Haim's not in this, so who are you going to pick? Well, I have Butterbean.
Yeah, I probably should make a more serious pick, like Lane Riggs or something like that. But
that was my other choice.
Instead, I am going to pick Dario Franchitti because guess who his crew chief is?
Well, it says it on the doc, so I'm going to have you just say it.
Okay, well, Jimmy Johnson will be the crew chief for that team in St. Petersburg. Dario's back in a truck. Jimmy's a crew chief. Got this new race at St. Pete where you have a few IndyCar guys competing, which we talked about. But, I mean, come on. Let's get some crazy stuff happening at St. Pete. This little doubleheader with IndyCar, which we shall not really be talking about besides the fact that they are sharing the track this weekend, and a few IndyCar-type drivers are in the trucks race.
James Hinchcliffe.
Yeah. And
all right, anyway.
But yeah, so give me Dario, give me Jimmy, give me an incredible combination in victory lane.
All right. That is the pod. We don't really have much else. Do you have any final thoughts? Any predictions? Any, words, I guess?
You know what? I have a take. It is not my pick for the week. That is clearly SVG. But Kyle Busch wins this week.
He was close last year.
He was, and he ran.
He was really close.
His fastest lap was nearly half a second faster than SVG's last year. He
Straight up,
finished in the top 5 last year. He had the most points of any driver in the race last year.
That's it. I'm changing my pick. I'm picking Kyle Busch. I'm doing it.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna do it.
Oh my god, he did. I'm holding you to it.
You pulled the line, sinker. I've taken the bait, and you're gonna reel me up after I get cooked.
Hook, line, and sinker. Busch is
Hook,
finishing
line, and sinker. Busch is finishing P1, baby. Dude, I really hope he wins at some point because I really don't want my like third of an article about him not winning a race like standing true. I really can't have that happen. Kyle, I need you to do something, please, for the love of God.
It's funny because you don't think of him as like a road course ace, but he did kill it at COTA last year. And
so good.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's see.
Listen, will I regret my removing Zilich from my cup pick? Who knows? But only time will tell.
Zilich
If Zilich
lapping the
does win
field
this
is going
cup
to be
race,
crazy.
I will actually cry. I will cry. I will come to this podcast with fake tears, and I'll start fake crying.
Fake crying.
Or real crying. You listen, I could probably conjure up. So if I know I can cry on command to certain things. I can do it. If you would like me to, I can do it. But anyway, that's the pod.
You're gonna be real crying when I'm taunting you endlessly for picking Kyle Busch over Connor Zilich. You know, gonna pretend I had nothing to do with it next week. You'll see. You'll see.
Listen, you gave me the bait. I just took it. All right. Anyway, that's the podcast. Thank you for watching. Have an amazing day.